But fortunately now the rains seem to have come. Unfortunately, of course, the weather forecasters did not give us the true picture of what it was actually going to be, because you remember the earlier predictions were talking about rains coming, I think, in May. And so
I think they said late March to mid-May. They said there would be short, intense rains.
Well. The impression the public got was that the rains were going to come in May. So I think what now we need to do as a country, and I really urge government to do this, because there are crops that take about 3 months to 2 to 3 months
to mature.
And I think the so-called first crops. And I think those are our salvation, because we need now to come out very strongly through the Ministry of Agriculture and Extension workers countrywide to ensure that actually these first crops are grown so that we have enough food in the next 3 months. And I think that will bring down the prices of the food products, agricultural products. And I think that will save this country. Otherwise, the alternative would be actually to import food, which is actually
you don't even want to think about it.
You don't want to think about that, because world food prices have also been rising so fast. So that is extremely important for the Minister of Agriculture and whoever is in charge of these things to ensure that people are encouraged, whether it means actually providing seeds. That will be extremely important for us as a country. And I would imagine that the Minister of Agriculture would take a lot of interest in this one. Now, oil crisis, I think sometimes, because today I happened actually to go to a petrol station to get fuel for my car, and somebody mentioned it to me that, look, there isn't an apparent really big crisis as such, but you see the speculators in the energy sector in this country, and I'm sure even in the neighboring countries, are taking advantage of what's happening in the Middle East, the unrest which is there, and they are making the prices actually go up deliberately. Some of them are actually holding the prices, which actually I think is a...
Well, you're saying fuel dealers could be or are holding...
That's what I was told by one of the dealers. Right. But look, some of our friends are actually doing it. They are holding the fuel so that the prices go up, and at an opportune time when people are actually in a crisis and rushing all over the place looking for fuel, they increase the price, first of all, of the oil and the petrol and the diesel and so on and so forth, so that they actually get as much profits as possible out of this crisis, which is a pity. And really, I would invite the government to ensure that this kind of thing is really controlled as much as possible, so that people are not subject to a lot of suffering as far as... Because you see, when you touch fuel, as we have said earlier, then you have touched the entire economy. The prices will go up, and everybody is going to be affected. And that is not good for the country, because it will affect even eventually the economy. Now, international factors, I think some of them, yes, we can as a country try to mitigate some of these international factors that affect us as far as the economy is concerned. But some of them definitely you can't, because it will require an international effort, involving quite a number of countries to come together, and then there's try to mitigate this problem of the problems which are of international nature. So I think in the next 2 to 3 months it will be a little better, because after all we have not had, as my colleague has said, a full-blown crisis in as far as food is concerned, in as far as energy is concerned, in as far as the rest of the problems that we have at the moment.
So your forecast, Mr. Mayega, is that the drought, since we've ended, in 3 months we will have been...
I'm not very sure yet, Edmond. I'm not very sure, but we want to imagine that actually the rains that we are seeing at the moment are going to make us stay with us for as long as possible. In fact, somebody was talking about them going as far as July. That would be fantastic.
Well, even if they went up to May, according to the forecast, we'll have beans and some short-term crops.
That's right.
Maize and so on. So the drought impact will be lessened.
Right.
Oil, the Middle East crisis could have fizzled out.
The government must take an upper hand in as far as ensuring that these things are actually, to encourage farmers really to go and really grow the first crops.
All right, we'll talk about the government role. That's an important factor.
Yeah, yes, there is a very important point that Honorable pointed out.
Yes.
And this is what might be the unbecoming habit of some of the dealers. But you know, under oligopolistic competition,
yes,
these people who are not so many open for everybody, and is not one.
Right.
The tendency of
creating
speculation, it cannot easily be ruled out. And I don't want to say it's true, but even if it were true, I would blame government. The only way you can deal with oligopolists and people who can hoard goods,
yes,
in speculation of high prices,
yes,
is when you have oil reserves. Right. The moment you know that there is any tendency of speculative tendencies, people are holding back.
Right.
Then you open the reserves.
Right.
The moment that psychologically goes to them, they'll open up.
Right.
You can go to a petrol station in the evening, they say there is no fuel.
Right.
Before any vehicle comes to
refill,
and then in the morning they say
we have fuel,
and the price is adjusted. So you can't say it's not true, but I only needed to ask the government. They look at such issues when they have the mantle, because in a private run economy, the forces of demand and supply will always determine the price.
Right.
Some you have it very difficult to regulate. You don't sell 4,000. How much
you can't do it. You can't.
So if you can't do that, you just open your reserves, let all the other dealers get fuel, and people will now cut down the price. The other issue is that on some of the price, the cost that we are adding on to the commodities, as a result of the taxes we pay.
Yes.
Well, as the dollar has persistently been high, 2,300 and above.
Yes.
The Uganda Revenue Authority has not had any rate for the clearance of taxes.
Yes.
In fact, the formula that URA uses is that they take the average of 3 months. If the rate has been 2,300 for at least about 3 months, just as it is today,
they take a median rate.
They take the medium.
Yes.
The average.
The median.
That therefore means the market price of the dollar today is the rate at which the URA is levying the taxes.
Yeah.
Since we entered the East African Customs Union, taxes are not computed in Uganda shilling. They are actually computed using the dollar rate. So you buy the items expensively because of the exchange rate from the sources of importation. You pay taxes expensively because of the exchange rate of the dollar.
Right.
And there is no magic that a trader will commit to reduce the prices of the commodities.
Okay.
So that's why we say that the only way we can fight this, in the interim, URA can also think, and government, Minister of Finance, can think about what is applicable. Can we have a rate that we can offer in the payment of taxes such that we can lower a bit in as far as the taxes are concerned? And if this happens, someone who wants to sell expensively will of course be cut out, because if I have a markup, I told you in trade, if you get something, add costs, get a markup, and you sell. So if one doesn't want to sell and get minimum profits, then the goods will not be bought.
Let's look at very briefly before we go for take a breather. Let's look at imports becoming more expensive. Has this cycle gone full swing? Have we seen a situation whereby imports become more expensive because of the strength of the dollar?
Indeed.
How big is that cycle? 3 months, 6 months?
It is. I think it is now going even beyond 6 months, because I remember by July, after the budget, the dollar went up.
Yes, it began to rise.
When the referendum in Southern Sudan was under preparation,
yes,
a lot of trade reduced between Uganda and Sudan, and much of the dollar that was stabilizing the rate of exchange rate of the dollar was coming from the Southern Sudan. So the trade rates so much reduced between that time when the referendum was on and when it was towards it. No sooner that had that ended than the elections in Kampala began.
Right.
You know that a lot of people made the capital flights. People were so suspicious. They were not sure of the situation. So
it always happens.
All the planes would be full to capacity.
Exiting
the Chinese, the Indians, all had a holiday during the electioneering time. Yes. So they all went with the dollars. So this has been a big problem, and it in fact, when you look at the problems, both of them compared, the fuel has just emerged, at least not for so long, not about 1-2 months,
yes,
but the dollar problem has been here for more than 6-7 months.
This is Spectrum listeners on Radio 1. Tonight we are focusing on the emerging economic challenges, the troubles we're facing here in Uganda economically. How is the common person being affected, and what interventions should we be looking at? Our guest tonight, Mr. Issa Sekitto from KACITA, spokesperson, and Mr. Henry Mayega from Makerere University. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Let's offer you a credit card with real value and reward, and enable you to shop in Uganda and at millions of retail outlets worldwide, including online shopping. Let's give you the power to borrow cash right when you need it, and offer you 55 interest-free days for card purchases. Let's offer you a Stanbic Bank Visa credit card. For more information about the Stanbic Bank Visa credit card, type the word Stanbic, leave a space, type your query, and send that to 8448. Or ask a customer consultant at your nearest branch. Stanbic Bank, moving forward.
I owe him some money. Son, go and tell him that I'm not around.
Okay.
Where is your father?
He has said that he's not around because he owes you money.
No, that is not what I said.
Unlike humans, structures don't lie. Strong structures need seriously strong cement. This is what Hima Cement does best, and why most structures in Uganda are built with Hima Cement. So if you're thinking about building, think Hima Cement. Hima Cement, part of you from the start.
Okay, sir. He didn't say that. I swear.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90. Watch it on your PC or cell phone now. On your PC, go to radio1fm90.com. Choose Spectrum Videos. Then choose the Spectrum video that you'd like to watch. On your cell phone, visit youtube.com. Search for Radio 1 Spectrum. Choose the Spectrum video that you'd like to watch. To get these directions again, SMS the word Spectrum